Hello newbies, this is Suspect Amy here, and I'm back with another video, this time talking about WOTV Vision monetization and why I think it's in a good spot right now. The reason this topic came to me is because I was watching an Auron Jay video a while ago, and he was talking about these types of paid banners right here. I will link the video in the description, but here's Auron Jay's comment.
If you're going to do a 6K paid Visior 3-step up for a new unit, don't put the new unit on 50% on the third step. That's bait. That's bait. 60 paid or 6,000 paid Visior is $100. $100. If somebody's going to spend $100 on your game, give them the unit. Give it to them.
When I first watched this, I was saying to myself, wow, you're so right, this game is a ripoff. They should totally fix this. So let's fast forward to today. The current paid banners surprisingly got worse since then. On the third poll, there is now a 25% chance of getting the banner unit. This is down from 50%. This got me thinking, why in the world would Gumi do the opposite of what Auron Jay suggested? Before we get into that, let's elaborate a bit on how expensive Visior is in this game. It costs 2,000 Viz to do a single 10 pull, so let's see how much it costs someone to buy this. $13 will get you 1,600 Viz, but $24 gets you almost 3,000 Viz. So let's say a single 10 pull in this game will cost you about 20 bucks. That is pretty crazy. Can you imagine spending $20 for every pull you do? Browsing the shop a little. Let's see. Here's a good example of the cost of Visior. We have a $40 bundle for EX materials and some Viz. Here's another EX material package that actually has less EX materials than the $40 one. However, this one costs $80. Why? Well, because you get an extra 2,500 Viz for $40 more. Honestly, unless you desperately need the materials in these bundles, it's very expensive to buy Visior in this game. Don't get me wrong, there are a few good deals here and there, which means light spenders can do pretty well in this game. But there's only a few, and once they're gone, you're out of luck. Anyways, so Visior in this game is expensive. What's my point? My point is that this may actually be a good thing. Let me explain. Here's a chart that I made, and let's just say this green dot is sort of late game content in WOTV Visions. This means you have a variety of teams that can auto-clear brutal content. You're a top contributor in raid and multiplayer, you do pretty decent in PvP, you help your higher ranked guild win guild wars, everybody loves you, and you're having fun. Now this line is how long a player takes to get to the late game content. Easy enough, right? Let's see what this looks like across three groups of players. Players who spend big money, players who spend small money, players who are free to play. First, as a reference, let me examine a different gacha game I tried recently. I don't want to start any flame wars, so instead of telling you the name of the game, let's just call this game A. The new player rewards were so-so, and it takes a free-to-play player this long to get to late-game content. That's about normal, I guess. By the way, this isn't like mathematically accurate or anything. This is just my estimation of what I'm seeing in these games. Some of these games I haven't played too deeply, but I have friends who do, so I was able to review their accounts and ask a lot of questions. Back to game A. Like a typical gacha games, to fully level up a hero's skill and abilities, it takes weeks of grinding and resource gathering. But game A has a cute little button on the corner of this screen where you can spend like $7 and automatically max out everything in one tap. Who wouldn't tap that and save weeks of grinding? I certainly did. As for big spenders, from what I've seen, they seem to have a marginal boost over the light spenders. I think you can see where the gap is here. These $7 max characters were so cheap that they became the norm, and this is now the primary way to compete in the game. Free-to-play players are almost playing a completely different game. This other game I tried, let's call it Game B. Free-to-play players get so-so new player rewards. Spending a small amount of money in this game has a small boost. Seems reasonable so far. Now, the problem with Game B is the cost of summoning a new character is so expensive that even a small spender can't afford many pulls. I mean literally saving for a month for 1/10 pull. The abilities and power of the limited summon characters are so much stronger than existing characters that whoever can pull the hero has a huge advantage. Unless you're extremely lucky, the only ones who can get these super units are big spenders. Let me take a moment to clarify that I have nothing against big spenders in gacha games. They're awesome. Whales contribute the most to the developers, which in turn allows devs to create more content for my game, so if anything, I'm thankful. I have a cry face here because I am jealous and wish I could do what they do. Let's move on to War of the Visions. Free-to-play players actually can get to late game, I would say quicker than most due to the very generous new player rewards that War of the Visions has now. You get a free level 99 and enough resources, I think, to max out at least one more UR. You get bingo boards to power up Shadow Links, Mediana and Mont, maybe more. Sorry, I don't remember. Players who spend a little actually can access some great deals, but there is only a limited number of them and they appear during special events. Examples would be the new player paid Viz shop and the recent shop where everything was only 7 paid Viz. These can all be cleaned out for several dollars. As a light spender, I had 4 level 99 URs after a few weeks of playing. For big spenders, remember how we talked about what a ripoff the Vizier bundles are? This means a player who spends like 10 times more than a light spender won't reach the late game content 10 times faster. Don't get me wrong, spending a lot of money in this game still gives that player a decent advantage, but having stuff priced high like this helps free-to-play and light spender players stay a few steps behind the big spenders. Anyways, sorry for the charts and stuff. I hope in the end I was able to explain why I think War of the Visions monetization sort of settles in a nice sweet spot for gacha games. Let me know what you think in the comments. Bye everyone!